In recent years, we have observed an abnormal increase in seismic activity. Not only is the number of earthquakes rising, but their intensity, meaning magnitude, is also increasing. These earthquakes are happening both on land and on the ocean floor. At the same time, there's a rapid rise in deep focus earthquakes, which trigger earthquakes in the Earth's crust. Therefore, predicting and preventing destructive earthquakes is a critical challenge that humanity will need to tackle in the coming years. Since the mid-20th century, significant research has been conducted on the consequences of human-induced impacts on the Earth's crust. This has led to the idea of exchanging a major earthquake for a series of smaller ones, which would help relieve overall seismic energy. For example, scientists from the Institute of Physics of the Earth have analyzed data on induced seismicity, meaning earthquakes caused by human activities. These activities include the creation of large reservoirs, oil and gas extraction, mining of solid minerals, underground nuclear tests, powerful electrical impulses, and the launch of large rockets. Powerful engineering activities also impact seismic processes. As a result, they found that these anthropogenic influences affect the seismicity of the regions where they occur. It was discovered that in areas affected by these activities, the number of minor earthquakes increases while the number of major earthquakes decreases. This led to the idea of relieving stress in tectonic plates through active interventions in the Earth's crust, in areas predicted to experience strong earthquakes, based on medium-term forecasts. For example, by relieving tectonic plates with a controlled explosion, instead of a major earthquake of 7 or more on the Richter scale, there can be an earthquake of only 2 to 2.5 in the same area, which would minimize damage to buildings and pose no threat to people. In a location where an earthquake is expected, drilling a well and using a controlled explosion at great depths could loosen stressed structures, thereby reducing tension and weakening the plates. However, to achieve this, our scientists need to identify the key primary indicators, which 6 months in advance will allow them to pinpoint the exact location, magnitude of the earthquake, and relieve the pressure. As early as 1952, scientists experimentally discovered a previously unknown property of newly formed surfaces of solid materials. They emit high-energy electrons in a vacuum. When a rupture surface is created, it generates an electric field with a strength of up to 10 million volts per centimeter, capable of causing electron emission. This discovery later led to the identification of hard X-ray radiation from these surfaces, which has been utilized for non-destructive testing of material strength. In particular, for identifying early microcracks that do not yet lead to failure. When a solid material reaches a state close to fracturing, the developing lens-shaped cavities become sites for the emission of electrons and X-rays, which can be detected. Similar processes occur in the Earth's crust about a month before an earthquake, particularly in areas of maximum lithospheric plate interaction. There, various particles, including endogenous neutrinos, are released in large quantities. The flow of endogenous neutrinos interacts locally with the Earth's electromagnetic field, disrupting its lines of force and kind of turning it into a sieve. The resulting holes, due to neutrino activity, create conditions that allow cosmic radiation to reach the Earth's surface, as recorded by Polish scientists. Polish geophysicists compared data from several cosmic particle detectors with seismic activity and concluded that strong earthquakes are preceded by locally measured anomalous fluctuations in the background cosmic radiation reaching Earth. observed approximately 2 weeks before potential tremors. This increased particle flux can be detected with portable detectors that scientists are already using. Another option is to use a neutrino power cube, a fuel-free generator that uses graphene to convert the kinetic energy of particles into electricity. An increase in its power output would indicate a rise in the particle flux, meaning such devices could serve as sensors for endogenous neutrinos. By deploying these devices globally, real-time information on where and when earthquakes might occur could be obtained. Currently, we can only rely on primary indicators of earthquakes, such as increased neutrino emissions in the area where an earthquake is about to take place. However, the problem is that when there is significant emission of endogenous neutrinos, it becomes impossible to carry out such stress relief, as this could result in an earthquake exceeding 10 on the Richter scale, meaning 20% stronger instead of the intended 7 to 8. This can be easily explained with a simple example. Imagine a locomotive pushing a long train of cars up against a concrete wall. As the locomotive continues to push, the pressure builds up between the first car and the wall. Eventually, something will give under, either the car or the wall, and what we call an earthquake occurs. Now, imagine that the pressure has built up to a critical level and is being transferred through all the cars to the locomotive. If you suddenly remove the first car that's between the wall and the rest of the train, a gap forms. At that moment, the stress peaks. What happens? Many would say the spring starts to release. There's a powerful impact because a huge mass collides at an abruptly increased speed. This results in a stronger impact force, which is the mass multiplied by the speed. But what happens if the first car at the back of the train is removed, meaning the one furthest from the locomotive? A gap forms between the force pushing the cars and the cars themselves. The cars are on an incline, and the locomotive is pushing them uphill. The load on the plate decreases sharply, damping the stress. How does this happen? When you remove a car, the locomotive can move faster, but now it faces the full mass of the remaining cars and their load. This mass moves toward the locomotive. What will happen? First, there's a reduction in pressure between the first car and the wall, and second, the mass of the remaining cars quickly slows down and reduces the force pushing the cars, which in turn slows down the locomotive. Thanks to neutrino sensors, we can pinpoint local areas where there are high concentrations of these particles. These areas can be thousands of kilometers away from the predicted earthquake. By identifying where the stress is building up, we can relieve the pressure on the tectonic plates before cosmic radiation even becomes a factor. As a result, we would experience only minor earthquakes, up to a magnitude of 2.5, and avoid a major seismic event both at the relief point and the forecasted site. In this way, with the development of these sensors and installations, we can monitor nearly the entire globe for any changes and effectively manage almost any earthquake by relieving the stress, thus preventing the problem. This could make seismic activity entirely manageable. However, a significant hurdle remains: the fragmentation of our society. To implement such technologies, international cooperation and collaboration are essential.